right from Ganesh. Can you introduce yourself? May I know your professional experience on that?
Yeah, I'm Pravina. Myself, Pravina. Like I'm working as a business analyst in a cement and mining company. I have a 12 plus years of experience. Previously, I worked into service management, worked as a change and release manager,
Okay.
and I'm looking forward to this training to change my career into
As a
Guidewire Business
Guidewire.
Analyst. Yeah.
Okay. Any idea over the Guidewire part or PNC insurance earlier, madam? Please.
I just a very basic information, not very high level information only I know. Like it's insurance based domain knowledge, and there is a billing center and ClaimCenter and policy centers are there. So most of the insurance companies are using this application. This is a very high level only I know, not
Okay.
deep into it.
No problem. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Ganesh, yourself.
Yeah, hi, can you hear me?
Yeah. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, hi, good evening. So I I'm also working as a business analyst currently within the insurance domain. Have 12 plus years of experience as a BA. I have worked in both life and general insurance and l- have worked on different policy administration systems before, but not on Guidewire. So yeah, that way I'm looking forward to the overall training.
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah. Thank you. Rahul, yourself, please.
Yeah. Hi all, Rahul this side. So total I have 8 years of IT experience, wherein from last 6 years, like I've been working as a business analyst. So currently I'm working at Cognizant. So I've worked in different domains like telecom, gaming, e-commerce, and payments domain. So looking forward to upskill in this domain and wanted to switch into this domain. So thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Surya.
Hi Raj, yeah. This is Surya. I'm working as a business analyst, but in life insurance domain with
Okay.
15 years experience. And yeah, I know some knowledge about PNC, but never worked on any of the platforms or
Okay.
administration.
Thank you.
That's what. Yeah. Thank you.
Mr. Vamsi.
Hi, so I'm basically a developer, the Java developer. I heard that regarding this Guidewire from so many people actually, that it's an interesting domain. I thought to move to a BA for a long time, but I just want to try the Guidewire because I can see the policy center developer as well, but I just want to move to completely to the business side, knowing more about it. So I just wanted to know like what is this Guidewire business and all.
Okay, I could see. 1 minute. Yeah, I see many people were from life insurance itself, but still there were some people who are not from insurance. But just give me an introduction today about what exactly property casualty insurance is all about. Anyway, from a layman perspective, I'm going to explain you. And in what way Guidewire are we using nowadays, and for what reason? So why are we going for Guideware now and then? What advantages do we have? Finally, as a business analyst, when we are working on Guideware, what should be our roles and responsibilities? Okay, that's what I'm going to cover you today in today's session. If you have any questions, once the session is completed, we have a Q&A so that you can ask me one by one. So let me start with this is about the role of a business analyst, because BA is a common role. This is nothing to do with any particular domain, nothing to do with any particular technology. Role of a business analyst is to understand about the business situation and providing necessary solutions for any customer requirements. That's what, as a simple, to make it very clear, as a BA, the one should be good with. So as part of working as a business analyst, we must be good with some knowledge areas. The first one about business analysis, planning and monitoring, where we must be proficient enough in understanding about requirement governance, requirements management. At the same time, stakeholder engagement, all these things we must be good with. Next, we have to conduct different illustration techniques to interact with multiple stakeholders. So for that, we conduct some jar session interviews. These are all different illustration techniques we must be experienced with. Third, about enterprise and strategy analysis. Enterprise and strategy analysis, where we need to define the business need. We need to know about the business goals and objectives that are to be achieved. Must be knowing about the capability gap between two different systems. Given a condition where, let's say, an insurance company is using a old legacy policy or a billing or claim management system, they want to transform into Guidewire. Okay, so this is where generally we have to do the gap analysis. That is something that we must be good with. Next, requirement lifecycle management means when we interact with stakeholders, whatever the requirements that we get will be very rough requirements, which has to be streamlined, and we need to classify the requirements into different parts. Either it can be business requirements, stakeholder and user requirements, transitional, all that. Followed by requirement lifecycle management, we must be good with requirement analysis and design definition, followed by solution assessment and validations. Means how to define the solution, how to define test cases, use cases, and how to visualize the requirements by preparing some use case diagrams or sequence diagrams. And how are we converting requirements into user stories? Now and then we are following Agile, so we must be good with user stories. These are the common skill set for any BA one must be good with. It is nothing to do with Guidewire, as I've stated in the beginning. For any profile, these skill sets will remain the same. Now, why Guidewire is so prominent in P&C insurance? P&C insurance, in short, is called as property and casualty insurance in detail. Apart from health and life insurance, rest everything will be part of P&C insurance. Either it can be vehicle insurance, it can be a property insurance, it can be a cargo insurance when we are transporting goods from one place to another. All these things will be called as property and casualty insurances are. This is what we call it as P&C insurance stands for. So P&C insurance company, any company across the world, right? So there can be a size of the organization may vary, area of operations may have the differences, or line of business they were into may have the difference. Like, because some people are very good at auto insurance, some people have very good customer base, client base in home insurance. It can be anything, okay? But end of the day, when we are working from the business analyst point of view, there is a migration sometimes now and then has happened, because insurance companies are managing three different operations. One is policy management, I can say, means any customer given any policy submission, application submitted, that has to be verified and verified by the underwriting company, so that we provide quotation to the customer. Subsequently, we will provide quotation to the customer. If customer is agreed upon, he can pay the premium, so that we send them a policy document. So policy submissions, cancellations, reinstatements, renewals, all these things will be part of policy management or policy administration. Next, there is billing as well, billing process as well. Either it can be for new payments, or it can be renewals, or any commissions that we are paying to any broker or an agent, which normally here we call it as producer. So that is one more activity. The third activity, claim activity. Anyway, everybody knows that, because when there is any collision happened for any vehicles, and customer will apply this to the insurance company. So insurance company has to verify and validate what type of policy, what are the coverages they have, etc. Based on that, they will process the ClaimCenter and the claim application, and they complete further. These are the activities any insurance company perform. It is nothing to do with size of the organization. Any organization that remains the same. But to manage these activities, even though it's a human intervention, you required some applications to be used. For a very long time, insurance companies, even you see there are companies who have more than 100 years of experience, 100 years old companies also. Everybody are using old legacy applications for different type of applications they are using for different purposes. But now and then, as requirements are changing time to time, area of operations are increasing. Earlier, let's say companies confined to limited line of businesses, now they want to go for expansion. At the same time, they want to decentralize their claim management system. For any reason, companies are moving towards new systems. I am not referring Guidewire here. It can be anything. Okay, so they are moving towards new system, which is a common, but generally migrating to other new systems will not happen every time. Once in a while, right? So when there is a real need, that can be done. That too, the complete transformation will not be taken place at a time. It takes in phase wise. These implementations will be taken further by the insurance company. So in the process, most of the companies are offering most choosing Guidewire application because there are many other. We have Duck Creek application as well. We have Majesco, many other applications. Apart from that, one of the application we are using is called Guidewire. Okay, Guidewire is an application we are using. Guidewire advantages were few. One, whatever the application that you see, Guidewire, generally these are the three different modules you can see, like PolicyCenter, billing, and claims. All the three modules. All the three modules will be called as insurance suite, right? That is what the name it was. But when any insurance company wants to have any one module, let's say they want to transform their policy administration or policy data to the Guidewire ClaimCenter, so they can do it. So necessarily you don't need to buy a complete insurance suite from the Guidewire company. You can buy any one, 2 or 3 of your choice, you can buy it. That is one advantage because you don't need to buy the complete license module of all the three. But every insurance company, every company have their own implementation partners, implementation team available. So those people's responsibility is to configure and migrating the project according to the need of the company. That's where configuration and integration come into picture. Configuration means according to the business rules of the organization, it has to be configured, which technical people do eventually. At the same time, integration. Let's say they are planning only for my policy administration now, PolicyCenter. So the PolicyCenter application must be integrated with their old legacy billing and claim systems or any external systems like underwriting systems or any CRM or ERP applications. That integration is required to conceive the data from one system to another system. So all these things generally will be comes under the integration. So they required some implementation partners who do that. So advantages, any one module insurance company can buy. They don't need to necessarily buy all the modules, but that has to be customizable, that can be integrated, provided technical people do that. For that technical people to do these things, there must be some intermediary who should gather the requirements and transforming into a user story format. That is something as a BA that we are going to do, because many people, from a layman perspective, many people ask, like Raj, as the Guidewire is a product which is available. If you can see, this is a Guidewire application which is already existed. Because if you are a BA, general understanding is, right, we develop a project from the scratch, which is called as COTS projects. Right from the scratch we develop, right? So that is our understanding as a BA in regular. But when there is a Guidewire application which has already existed, what else as a BA that we do? Sometime back, as I told you, right? So because any configurations or integrations are needed, those requirements will be gathered as a BA. That is what, as a business analyst, that we do. That is what usually the role is meant for. So whatever the skill set that is needed and all, everything that I already explained, so those remains the same. But understanding over the PNC insurance, the whole life cycle ecosystem, followed by the flow process of any application, any given application, either it can be PC, BC, or CC. That knowledge is required so that when you're interacting with stakeholders, you will be knowing about the pain points you know about the business problems and the intensity, so that you can interact with your technical team to complete this much faster and easier. So this is another thing that we need to do, right? So that is as a BA that we do, right? So that is one advantage in Guidewire, right? So anyone can be bought. So as a BA that we do it. Second advantage, Guidewire has a cloud version because it's not only an on-premise. Of course, the one which you can see here is an on-premise, but cloud versions are also available. Of course, we'll not have that access anymore, but this is an on-premise. Any training that can be imparted in this on-premise only. On-premise or cloud versions are also even available. So anyone, right? So either it can be on-premise or cloud versions. So any company, because they wants to reduce their infrastructure challenges, right? So they want to reduce their infrastructure cost, etc. So what insurance company do? Insurance company can go with the cloud version, right? So because of course they may be using different cloud service providers, either it can be AWS or Azure of anything of that, of their comfort and their budget. So that has to be configured into the cloud environment. So the infrastructure cost need not be maintained physically. Everything will be maintained virtually. So this is something, these are the advantages and reasons behind Guidewire as a product. Many companies are now transforming towards. I don't say all the modules are taken by insurance company, because somebody do PolicyCenter first, after that billing and ClaimCenter later. And that too, this will not happen in a day, in a month or two. This will be taken not less than a year or so. So through batch processing, we slowly migrate the data from one system to another system. Make sure there should not be any loss further. All data migration, everything should happen. So these are the reasons behind Guidewire opting for any insurance company nowadays. Of course, we have Duck Creek, we have Majesco, right? So we have many other, but Guidewire has that advantage. So many companies are migrating, irrespective of the country it belongs to. It can be in India, right? So it can be in US and Canada, right? So everywhere people are migrating from uh, their whole system to the Guidewire, and some people are moving from Guidewire on-premise to cloud, right? So these are all happening. The reason there are a lot of job opportunities you see for different roles. Of course, we are discussing and dealing with BA here, but there are other roles for developer as well, who do the configurations, integrations and all. There are testing roles you see, who do the testing part of it, majorly manual part. At the same time, automation, which is called GT framework, all that. And even you see architect roles also, who do the architecture, solution architecture. That's all something that they do. So this is the overall picture about the intro part, right? So this is what it was, right? So this is what the session is all about. So if you have any questions, you can ask them there. Please go ahead. Please ask if you have any questions for on this.
So Vamshi here. So I have a question regarding this the PolicyCenter or billing or claim centers. We the requirements, as you said, that we need to gather the requirements. I mean, I'm not I don't know anything about the business analyst role or what are the roles and responsibilities of it. Basically, I'm a developer. When you're talking about this developing stuff and integration stuff, I'm getting it. But when we are completely talking about business, so what kind of things that we need to know,
For
like if
example,
let's okay, go ahead.
well, you complete your question. I'll answer that later.
Yes, so basically, like when we are taking a project, and when I'm talking about when I am talking to a BA, he basically tells me, like in my role as a developer, I'm explaining. He basically tells me, like if I'm having questions about any business, like any requirement things, I'll go to him and ask, like, okay, I'm not understanding what is a required thing that you want me to do. I'll share my analysis of the ticket that I am doing, and he will give me an overview of what is required. That is the thing that I actually know. But when it comes to this Guidewire, there are different rules, I guess. Like there are certain things to be done in a certain way, I believe. I'm not exactly sure if that's the case. Like, what exactly that we need to learn in order to complete that business analyst role, where we can actually, what are those conditions, and what are the uh, I mean, I exactly want to know where we can actually find the stuff in order to get these business analyst role.
Completed your question?
Yes.
Thank you. So generally there are underwriting rules. Basically, generally when it comes to the application, as far as the business rules are concerned, we'll be having underwriting rules. I'll give you a specific scenario so that you will be understood well. For example, customer has applied for an auto insurance policy. When
Okay.
customer has submitted an auto insurance policy, he has to mention about the vehicle, when that vehicle got purchased, any modifications were made, done or not. At the same time, they will be mentioning for what purpose it's being used. Either it can be personal auto or commercial auto, they'll submit. In addition to that, not sometimes, in addition to that, they have to submit the driver details also, especially from the commercial auto point of view. So whenever they submitted commercial auto policy, they have to mention the driver details, who is going to drive the vehicle, what is their experience, the driver or driver's experience. And including that, they have to mention any traffic violations or something. Everything has to be updated. Otherwise, being an insurance company, we can cross verify, right? So we can cross check based on the license ID number, we can verify. Now, for an organization, there is a rule that if there is any two or more, or one or two traffic challans were existed, or any suspensions were happened earlier, system should automatically detect, and it has to be considered and appeared as a high risk driver. That is the requirement. So this requirement you are converting in a form of user story and giving it to the technical team, so that your development team has to instruct to the system in such a way by developing the logic, either in a form of code or something they will be writing. So for that requirements, as a BA that you are gathering and you are presenting in a form of user story and all that. This is how generally we do.
So is it kind of a bridge kind of thing that like, are we if business role is
Absolutely.
a kind of bridge between the
Always,
stakeholders and
always.
developers?
Always.
Okay.
So we as a business analyst, we act as a liaison between business and technical community. So you
Okay.
try to understand the business situation of the customer and translating their problem into solution. Of course, a business solution. From there, it should be turned into a technical solution. So we act as a bridge between these two parties, business and technical community, right from the inception of the project to end of the project.
Okay, got it.
One
So,
scenario has already been mentioned. This is how it is.
yeah, adding to his point, I just want to ask you, like, when we are collecting the first level of requirement with the workshop we will conduct, and we will be collect the requirement from the business, is that developer should be there, our solution architect should be
Yes, ma'am.
there in the
Yes.
call? Because what is happening in my organization is most of the thing that developer is speaking to the business, and he is getting the requirement, and we are just finalizing and whether the task is completed or not. This is how it's going on. So is that will be happen in every organization, or else it would be different?
Okay, I'll give you two answers. Your question is over, madam. Your
Yes,
question
sir.
is done.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So I'll give you two different answers. When you're talking about illustration, generally we conduct JAT session, provided when you follow the traditional way of approach. JAT session we conduct. So in JAT session, as I already you have pointed, the same point I'm reiterating. Development team must be presentable in this, even design team. Business analyst team should also be there. Because
Okay.
as a BA, we act as a JAT facilitator. That is what our role. So we need to engage all these people. We need to come up with a common understanding between two different things. One is about expectation versus reality. What customer is expecting in reality, what we understood and what we are able to do. Okay, that to bridge the gap between these two, JAT session we conduct. So that time it's not only developers, it's even business analyst team will also be involved, and they plays a vital and important role apart from the design team and development team. In some companies, as you said, like developers are directly gathering requirements from the customer. I believe because I'm not sure whether there are any BAs or not, but generally when it comes to the illustration and all, that initiation must be done by the BA. I think if I'm not wrong, I think that role might be playing by someone else in your organization. So this is one scenario when it comes to the traditional way of approach. When we
Okay.
follow agile way of approach, we don't have this much time. The reason why Scrum framework been introduced, where you will be having a role of product owner. Okay, product owner role has designed now and then. So this product owner will come up with all the goal and vision, creating some epics and user stories, right? So everything will come up with the product owner. So day-to-day progress, everything will be discussed with the product owner only, so that we don't need to discuss with multiple stakeholders all the time. So PO itself is considered as a single point of contact in the way of agile. If there is any requirement or any additional needs, everything will be transferred and everything will be transported to producer only. So that is the fundamental difference you see from the traditional way to agile. Got it? You're clear?
Yeah. Thank you.
Welcome. Next, any questions, please? Any questions, please?
So in this training, so basically all, including the stuff on this guideware, so all the BA topics will be covered, right?
Yeah, BA topics I'll cover. Yes. BA topics will be covered. Well, let me just show you. Right. So these are the outlines. I'm just giving an outlines here. You can see it.
Sure.
So it starts with the BA, because I could see, like, because there are two kind of people comes for Guidewire BA. Based out of my experience, I'm carrying for a long time. I see people working for BA now they are moving into Guidewire. That is one kind of people. Second kind of people, they are not from the BA role. They can be of any other roles. Either they may be from complete core insurance side, sales side and all, or development technical side and all, which they wants to switch over their career into Guidewire BA. So two kind of people we come across. So business analyst skill set topics will be covered initially to start with, which is mandatory for everybody. Either we are coming from business analyst and all, everybody has to undergo all that. So I don't directly get into Guidewire application, because this flow process, understanding the flow process, everything is known to you, is required. How to write underwriting rules and all, but I don't start this in the beginning of my session. I'll always start my session from the BA basics. From there I'll start. It's all advisable even, right? So that's how it is. So it starts with BA only, the BA life cycle, writing some user stories, right? So everything that we will be learning. After that, slowly I'll get into the Guidewire part. That's how it is. Understood? Got it?
Yeah. Thank you.
Next, any questions, please?
Have
Well,
one.
your voice is breaking.
Yes.
Just can you just please? Your voice is breaking. Can you please repeat your question again?
Thank you. Because,
Your voice is breaking, madam. I hardly listen anything.
even I also have this question.
Please post it in the chat box, possible, if you find any difficulty, so that I'll answer you. Please post it in the chat box either. I will answer your question. Anyone, please? Any questions meanwhile?
So what will be the duration of this course?
Usually, if this is all the three modules will be taken somewhere around 6 weeks time for me to cover. 6 weeks.
Then,
All the three modules I'm referring to.
so around 1.5 months.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, hi. So is it like daily sessions are conducted or like it
Usually,
will happen in
because
batches?
now and then, yeah, because I'm generally I'll conduct two kind of. One is daily sessions and second is only on weekends. Okay, so as per the mutual convenience, these trainings will be conducted. That's it. So it can be of two types. Like one is only on weekend session, second is on daily session. Like that's how it is. Question when you cover basics of it. Yes, madam. Yeah, already told you in the beginning only business analyst topics. I think your question is business analyst topics. I think that was your question, if I'm not wrong. Yes, business analyst topics will be covered, as I already mentioned. Yes. Yeah, right. Yes. So business analyst topics will be covered in the beginning, because this is a role of Guidewire BA. So first of all, we must be knowing about the BA skill sets first, then application. Okay, so then you'll have better understanding and idea. Yes, that's what we covered first in the beginning. Yes, you're right. Anyone?
Yeah, and we'll be covering all three modules, right? PolicyCenter, BillingCenter, ClaimCenter.
Usually it's all three modules. Yes.
Okay.
Policy, billing, and claims. Three.
And
Because
which
flow
version?
process you will be learning here, because
Understood.
we must be knowing about the flow process. That is what major learning in Guidewire is.
Okay.
That's
And
it.
which version will be learning? I mean, is it like latest version, 10.0, or is it like older version?
It's latest version only, because
Okay.
not everyone. I think two versions, 2 and latest one, and one I think it is old 9.1. I think so.
Okay. All right.
You're taking.
And is there any placement assistance
You can
also
speak to
provided?
those people. You can speak to those people in regard to that. Okay, you can speak to that organizers. So you can speak to them regarding those things. Any rest of the things apart from the training, anything further.
Okay.
Speak
All
to
right. Understood. Okay. Thank you.
Next.
And also, like regarding this Guidewire, I heard that it's an individual entity, not related to anything. So if a person who doesn't have any IT experience, if he starts learning from this BA, is he or her going to achieve something, or is it completely related? Like they should be having some IT knowledge.
It takes time. It takes time, because just now I have told you, because there are two cases, two kind of people comes. People are already in the technical side, technology side, maybe of any other role. They come. Okay, for them, property and casualty insurance domain could be the new thing for them. Second kind of people who are already working in insurance in different roles, they know the system of insurance, how the business works and all that, but they are not aware of what BA and PNC. So the reason why whenever I teach, it's always from the basics of BA, it's always from the basics of PNC domain, always.
Oh,
Because
okay.
whoever is from which domain and all, from the introduction sake, because for me to understand what kind of people are attending, right? So for that I want to know the reason why I'm asking everyone to introduce. But when I teach, it's always from the scratch, always.
Okay.
So either they're coming from PNC domain, the basic topics anyway that I'll cover. Even though you are coming from BA, basics of business analyst and rest of the topics will be covered as usual. So there is no doubt on that.
Got it.
Either
Thank you.
it can be PNC domain, because majorly PNC domain flow you must be good with, and BA skills. Both will be covered from the beginning for anyone.
Got it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Because we cannot because people from different because this is especially BA role, majorly career transformation. Who looks for career transformation? This is a gateway, right? So different all kind of professional experience people will come for this. So it's advisable, and it's always better to teach them from the scratch, which is good always.
Yes.
That's
Thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah.
Welcome. Next. Any questions from anyone, please? Okay, right. So this is all for session today, and see you then. Bye. Thank you.